Far from others. An audio medium unlike anything you've ever heard before. The pinnacle of sound experience. Jacked and Canned. Featuring John Tessman and Colby Tyler. A place where you will get the information you crave and hear about the topics that you love. Presented by themselves. Coming to you from the basement, bar, and the bedroom. Sponsored by no one. Jacked and Canned.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jacked and Canned. Joined as always by John Tessman. John, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. I know typically here on our fun-filled episodes, we don't talk a lot of sports, but tonight we have to because there's too much breaking news, man.
Well, this is a hot time in sports, John. So I'm in the same boat. We try to make the Jacked and Canned episodes funner than we try to make the Sports Roundtable episodes because we have a lot to break down in sports. But this time of year, we got NFL free agency. We got the NBA rather getting close to the end of its season. The NHL is getting close to its season. John would be excited about. We've got the AHL. We've also got baseball. Right now, March Madness just started up, and I got some stuff on that too to talk about. So right now is a hotbed topic for sports. So, John, there's no apologies needed. I think the audience would want to hear more sports right now in all seriousness.
So, Coles, with that said, man, you mind if I kick us off a little NFL action?
Let's do it.
Dude, wow. You know how we were talking and we were both kind of pulling for the Raiders. Well, the Raiders might be getting just a little bit better. Davante Adams to the Raiders.
No.
5-year, $141
Is that confirmed,
million.
John? If I go on my phone right now, am I going to see that that's a thing?
You're going to see that's a big thing from the NFL. You're going to see it from ESPN. The Green Bay Packers trading Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders. So very, very interesting with that, Colbs.
Holy hell.
Yeah, so
I told John, for those of you that obviously weren't here for the talk John and I just had before the show started, I haven't gotten any NFL updates today. It's been very strange. So John's like, we got to talk NFL because there's so much stuff that just happened. And I said, John, I haven't gotten anything. And yeah, nobody informed me of this. This is 100% new news to me. I had no idea that Davante Adams is now a Raider. I cannot wait to go tell my Raiders fan at work.
So, Colbs, now's the time to put a couple of bucks on the Raiders, making it a little bit farther. I know me and you both did during the playoffs.
Dude, the AFC West is the whole, like, other than the Bills and the Ravens, that's the whole AFC right now.
So, I just found that interesting with Rodgers re-signing. Now he's going to lose his biggest weapon.
Okay, so John, I told you about this, and I don't mean this like in a frustrating way. Like I'm not pissed at you for bringing it up that way. What I mean is, I told you and I told the audience, Aaron Rodgers just took all of Green Bay's money. They don't have the money to give to the other guys at this point. So this is Aaron Rodgers' fault. I'm sorry. There's no other way around it. There's not something that we can do that supplements like a little bit of an innuendo of, well, I mean, it could have been. No, it wasn't. It was because Aaron Rodgers said, you know what, give me all the money. And now they don't have enough for Davante Adams. And you know what this will also lead to? Aaron Rodgers being pissed off again that he's in Green Bay. Like, what do you want? What do you want? You could have had it. You could have had it.
Unless Rodgers just stays there for 2, 3, 4 years, and then he either requests a trade or he goes somewhere else.
He's maybe Brady request a trade by the end of the season, John.
Maybe Brady will finally retire, and then Rodgers says, "You know what? The Buccaneers got a pretty good crew over there. I'm going to go check it out." But who knows when that'll be? Because to your point, Brady's playing
in the NFC. Green Bay will not trade him into the NFC.
But to your point, Brady's going to play till he's 50 anyway, so that ain't even likely.
He's going to play till he's 80, John. You're underdoing that by a long shot. Brady's going to be here for the next 40 years.
Hey, so in other NFL news, this one, I don't know how you will feel about this. I think this is going to be huge for this guy's career here. But Allen Robinson, the wide receiver That was over there in the Bears. Now, he had a pretty
Yep.
standout year in 2020, over 1,000 yards, over 100 receptions. Last year, kind of disappointing. I think he got hit with the injury bug just a little bit. But going over to the Rams, that's a huge one. 3-year contract, Colbs, upwards of $46 million over there. But 3 years,
You know
that's
what's
with a
going to be
top
sad about
quarterback.
that for you, John, is
Hmm.
that probably is what's going to take Odell Beckham's place, because I don't think they'll have the money to shell on Odell Beckham.
Which is sad.
I just know
Unless
that you root for it. Honestly, I
I
mean,
do.
like, this is something that I kind of knew going in. Like, Odell's just there for the year and then he'll be elsewhere. But considering how well he did in LA, he's definitely going to get paid somewhere. But LA doesn't have the money for him, so it'll be somewhere else. But I mean, that is huge. That means that LA is going to stay stocked with 3 receivers that can play, between obviously Cooper Kupp, who might be the best receiver in the NFL, and then you have Robert Woods, who's a very great second piece. And Allen Robinson, if you're calling that your 3, I mean, that's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. If they can do something with Odell, that would be nice. But the way that Odell went down in that Super Bowl game as well, and suffering that torn ACL, you know how it is, man. ACL in any freaking sport, baseball, basketball, football, that's a serious injury. So, I mean,
It is.
we'll see. We'll see. Wide receiver, you need your legs.
No,
So,
I think that he'll still get paid pretty handsomely, because he was able to produce a lot there at the second half of last season. Even though we didn't see a whole lot of it in Cleveland, we saw enough in New York and we saw enough of it in LA. I think he will get paid. I just don't know exactly where it'll be.
I wonder if he'd be a cheaper option, even on a 1-year deal. I don't even know if Odell would do that, right? But he'd probably want a longer term deal. But I'm just having fun with this here that he goes to Green Bay.
Hey, I mean, the money won't be the same as Devontae Adams. I could see that, John. That's not terrible. I'm not going to sit here and poop on your idea there. That was actually not bad.
Yeah, so that will be interesting to see, Coles. But a little bit of news there. I think with Allen Robinson going over there, now he's got one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So he had a standout year, 2020 last year, disappointment, but like I said, injuries and stuff. So I'm excited to see what happens for his career. And that's another weapon at the Rams. So their receiving core, they're really not losing anything. If anything, they're getting stronger. So I found that pretty interesting. Colbs, in other NFL news, Baker Mayfield. All right. He's been
He
involved
gone.
in some controversy here, but especially today. Today, for whatever reason, he ended up requesting a trade from the Cleveland Browns, saying it's in the best interest of
Oh, no,
both
no, no. This
parties.
isn't for whatever reason, John. The reason behind this is that
Deshaun?
Cleveland was very into the idea of bringing in Deshaun Watson, and Deshaun Watson had the ability to say no, I don't want to go to you. But Baker got hurt by that, and I
Mm,
don't necessarily blame him. If I
I don't
was
blame
him,
him.
I'd probably want out of there too.
Mm,
At this point, go find a new team that's going to support you, because Cleveland hasn't done much of that really over the course of the last maybe 3 seasons.
Say the
I
last
would
15
say,
years, they haven't supported anybody.
well, I mean, yeah, he's had a 4-season career and it's been good, bad, good, bad.
Yeah.
And really, after the first bad season, there were a lot of people in Cleveland that were just out on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And I understand it, and personally, I wouldn't want to bank my franchise on Baker Mayfield. I don't think he's that type of talent that you can rely on to be your Super Bowl quarterback. But Baker's the best quarterback they've had since they came back in 2000. I don't know what else you really were looking for there. So I mean, yeah, they went after Deshaun Watson hard. Deshaun Watson said, "No, I don't want to go to you. I'd rather go to New Orleans, Carolina, or Atlanta." Apparently, he wants to go face Brady twice a year. I don't know what his deal is, but he wants to go play against Brady twice a year. And we're not here to really talk about the Deshaun Watson ins and outs, by the way. That's not what this show is going to be. But when it comes down to it, Baker Mayfield's hurt and Baker wants to be elsewhere. And you know what? I don't blame him. I would probably do the same thing if somebody said, "Hey, Colby, we're going to be looking into this other person that can take your job." It's no hard feelings. I'd say, "Okay, cool. Get me out of here. Get me to somebody else who wants me." So That's exactly what Baker Mayfield's doing right now, and honestly, I think that that's in his best interest because I think his time with Cleveland's pretty well spent. And, hopefully they put him on a team that is able to succeed because I am not against Baker Mayfield. I know I just said that he's not somebody that I think would be who I would want as my Super Bowl quarterback because I don't think he's got that capability. But it doesn't mean that it's all over, it's all done. I mean, he's 4 years into the league. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. I want to see Baker get some more shots myself, and he's not done. I think he just needs a change of scenery. It'll be good for him. But dude, I can't believe the amount of movement going on out there in the NFL. It's a pretty exciting year, and I think it really kicked off there with Tom Brady just coming back, and I think it really gave that extra punch to it. But some things to keep in mind, man. Some things to watch out there. What's going on? There's still some big names out there in the free agent pool, and it could either make or seriously break some teams if they don't end up resigning them.
No, I fully agree, John. And that's part of why I love this time of year because the NFL offseason, and same with the NBA, by the way, they are almost as good. They're better than the regular season in both sports. And then the only thing better is the playoff time. Well, I love the offseason. There's nothing better than just players going to different teams. You get to think about it. You get to say, oh, wow, that's going to be. And you're not really ever sure until you see it take place on the field. But it is a phenomenal thing to watch where you say, oh, Davante Adams to the Raiders. That's going to be awesome. Or you can say, I don't think it's going to work. Either way, it's still fun. Doesn't matter what you think. You're going to be on one side or the other of it. I think it's a blast, man.
Hell yeah, dude. I think now's a good time here. I'm curious what your thoughts are. I was looking up some of the scores for the Lakers games, and I know the last few games they haven't been doing that great. We kind of mentioned on the Sports Roundtable last 10, they were what, 2 wins or something. But yesterday, 124-104, the Timberwolves over them. Dude, LeBron looks so freaking frustrated. I saw a highlight clip of him, and he's like yelling. He's like, get the damn rebound or whatever. And he looks like he's done.
He is. So, John, I was going to save this for the second half, but I think I can do this with the time we have remaining in the first half of this episode. We're going to do a segment, and I apologize to any parents with their children in the car right now, but this segment is called Fuck Me. So I watched the Lakers Suns game the other day, and that's all it brought to my mind because I will start this off cleanly with the Lakers this year. Fuck me. So we're going to dive into some of the notes that I had from the Suns Lakers game.
I'm so curious. I'm so curious.
Yeah, they weren't too long ago. These things happened, I would say probably about 4 days ago at this point. To begin, Lakers Suns. Fuck me. That game was terrible for me to watch, just all around. I was so excited about it because LeBron's put up 50 in like 2 of his last, at this point, even 5-6 games. So I was so excited. I'm like, you know what? Even if they lose, at least I maybe get to see LeBron just go nuts. But no, not even. I didn't get anything I wanted. So Lakers Suns, fuck me. 7 days in a row working. Fuck me. Daylight savings time when we spring forward and I'm in at 7 a.m. Fuck me. Back to the game. LeBron, first player with 30,000 points, 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds. I'm actually very happy about that one. That one does not get the fuck me exclusive. I'm very happy about that. But he is literally the first player in all of NBA's history to achieve those 3 milestones within a career.
Quietly, I feel like nobody's even talking about it.
No, I must have been the only person. I'm sitting there, and when he got the 10,000th assist, I'm like, yeah! Michelle's on the couch back here, passed out, and I might have woken her up. Who cares? So I've noticed that the Lakers are comprised as a team of LeBron and John. You saw Space Jam, right?
I did. Well, not the new one.
No. I'm talking about the original. You remember the Monstars before they stole all the talent, how they were all just terrible, tiny little blobs?
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of what the rest of the Lakers look like. It's basically LeBron and the Monstars before they stole the talent. So fuck me. End of the third quarter, Phoenix had 119 points.
Wow.
Fuck me. 119, John. We're not talking about like it was 99. Like the Lakers had 90. That was actually not a bad output in 3 quarters. But the Suns had 119. We play no goddamn defense. Fuck me. John, we've wasted a Melo year. Like Melo has had a good season. And we put it all to waste because Melo might be the second best player on this roster. John, fuck me. Now, we get into the fourth quarter, and it's just Phoenix raining down threes. I don't even remember what the final score was. I'm going to be honest with you because I checked out pretty much after the third quarter. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go sit in the kitchen and dining room, and I'm just going to drink beers there where I don't have to actually watch this. This is
140 to 111 was the Suns.
Oh, good. Yeah,
at the Lakers. And then Raptors at Lakers on Monday, 114-103. Yesterday, Timberwolves 124, Lakers 104. So
dude,
it just continues.
At this point, like the Bruins have to get it going for me because they're actually right at the precipice. There are only 2 teams that are up and above in the NHL in the Eastern Conference that have a chance to be like, they're going to be 1 and 2. It's the Panthers and the Hurricanes. After them, there is a shit show of teams that are all within a couple points of each other. And I'm really hoping the Bruins get this thing down because I have nothing else going on right now. My Seahawks just blew up their whole damn team. The Lakers, I mean, fuck me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with sports. Like at this point, I'm like, you know what? I guess I'm just going to go straight brutal and I'm going to be a hockey and UFC fan for the foreseeable future. Like, this is bullshit, John.
Dude. Oh my God. That's an intense segment. I kind of like that. We might have to keep that. We might have to incorporate that in the tell them why you're mad, Colbs kind of segment right there.
Yeah, but we bring it to a new level. It's not tell me why you're mad. It's just fuck me.
Yo, so I don't know what to say. We talked about it in the sports roundtable, but since we even recorded that, I mean, they continue to fall down lower and lower. Like, are they just not even going to get into the playoffs now?
No, they'll play in a play-in game and lose in the first. They won't even make it to the actual playoffs, and God forbid if they do, because they're getting swept by Phoenix if they do.
Ugh. So how does that work? Is it just one game?
Yeah, it's just one game. So the play-in game essentially. You'll get the 7th seed and the 10th seed playing against each other, and the 8th seed and the 9th seed playing against each other. And the winner of both of those makes it in. It's the bottom 2 seeds in the playoffs. And then you have to go face what will be Phoenix and either Golden State or Memphis. And I mean, nobody's beating those 2 teams right now. Really, I mean, that's the whole Western Conference. It's going to be either Phoenix, Golden State, or Memphis. I don't want to hear, like, I know people are big on Utah, like, oh, their team chemistry. Yeah, they're a very good team. They are, but they're not winning the West. Not with those other teams. They're just not. Denver, same thing. Great team chemistry. They're not winning the West. I don't even want to hear about the other teams. They have no chance. And then we get to the East.
Yeah, what do you say about over there? So who's got
East
that
is fun, man. I think that we got, again, I think we have a 3-team race over there with Miami, with Philadelphia, and with Milwaukee. I think that's going to be a much funner playoff. I think that we're going to see a lot out of that where, honestly, the NBA Finals this year, John, I think it's going to be a blast. I don't think this is going to be one of these things where we come in there and we're like, whatever. No, I think it's going to be very good teams against each other, which will be something different because we're so used to just the superstar. And in this year, I think that we might see Phoenix, who made it last year, and it's Chris Paul and it's Devin Booker and it's DeAndre Ayton, and they are stars, but they're not the people that you think of the top of the NBA. And I think it might be Miami, who's Jimmy Butler and I almost said DeAndre Jordan. God, Bam Adebayo, and you've got Tyler Hero over there, and that's a different team. Like, you're not used to seeing those guys. I know they made it to the finals and lost 2 years ago, so I'm talking about two finals teams that lost a couple years back, but I wouldn't be shocked if those are the two teams that are there, not just because they're the 1 seeds, but because I actually think they're the best 2 teams in basketball this year. I think that the hyped thing of the Lakers Nets going into the season is just totally overblown. I don't think that, I mean, the Lakers have no shot at anything. And the Nets, unless Durant comes back healthy and good, they got nothing. There's nothing there. It's just Kyrie. And Kyrie's fine. He's good. I'll even say he's better than good. But Kyrie's not going to bring that team on his own shoulders to the finals. Hell, he can't even play in his own hometown right now.
Good point. Dude, if you had to say one thing before we go over here to cracking a cold one, you might actually need this beer. You might need it, Coles.
You're damn right I do.
If you had to say one thing to the Lakers, what the hell would it be?
Fuck me.
Ladies and gents, we'll be right back. Cracking a cold one with Colbs coming up. Stick around. We'll be back in about 30 seconds.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Cracking a Cold One with Colbs, a segment where I drink a beer while John tells the audience something that he finds fun, interesting, or otherwise. John, what do you have for our audience tonight?
Colbs, I have a little trivia question for you after you end up drinking this beer here. What year was the Los Angeles Lakers' worst season?
By record?
By record.
Oh, God. Maybe 74?
74. They were pretty bad there. 74 into 75. What is that, 30 and 52? Does that sound right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
1957 to 58, 19 and 53. Colbs, this can't be right.
I don't know so much about the 50s. That's a little bit before me and the Lakers are acquainted.
This can't be right, Colbs. 2015 to 2016. Did you know how bad they were?
I know that they were bad. That's when Kobe Bryant had just extended for a massive contract, but he was already on his last legs.
17 and 65.
Yep. That I mean, I guess that's not shocking, but at the same time, I wouldn't have pegged that to be their worst season in franchise history. Fuck me.
So there's still hope, is what I'm trying to tell you. There's still hope. In 2015, they went 17 in 65, Colbs. They went 17 and 65. So they could still turn it around. There's hope.
Yeah.
They're doing better than they were that year.
All right, John. So cracking a cold one tonight is all about. So, John, have you ever gotten the fake Twitter accounts that have bombarded you, or like fake news reports that have come across your way and you fell for them?
Yes, 100% that happens. We get fake comments even on our YouTube channel. We're like, what the frig is this? Oh, yeah.
So I fell for one of these. I break sports news to my friends on a regular basis, mostly just by reporting things that Adam Schefter tweets out, and I just see it before they do, so I just tell them.
He's the most reliable source.
Yeah, he is. And unfortunately, the tweet started with Adam Schefter, so I assumed it was Adam Schefter's Twitter, and we'll get there. It was that Deshaun Watson had been traded to the Eagles for Jalen Hurts, 3 first-round picks, and it was a pretty massive deal. And Jesus. I was all about it because, as you know, 2 of the friends of mine in my group text are Eagles fans.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be the first to let them know, hey, you guys got Deshaun Watson. I mean, take that for whatever you will. Like, I don't want Deshaun Watson, but I mean, good for you guys. And Yeah, it turns out after a few hours, they were texting me and they're like, "Hey, where did you see this? Because this is not online anywhere." And I went back and looked, and it turned out that it was a fake Twitter account that was just reporting something that they would like to see happen. And they just put Adam Schefter at the beginning of the tweet. And for some reason, Twitter decided to alert me to that because I clearly needed to know this false information so I could spread it amongst my friends. And now I have been just shit on for days. All that any of my friends are saying to me is, I don't want to hear anything from you because it's not real.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yep. All my friends are just shitting on me because I give fake sports news. I'm like, God damn it. It's been years I've been crushing this for you. And I messed up one time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's all that it takes. You could be sorry, but that's all that it takes is the one time, and then you're done, Colbs. And I apologize too, because all of the news that I gave at the first half of this episode was false news. It's not real. So everything that we just talked about at the beginning. No, watch
thing, John.
Watch Davante Adams falls through. The other thing.
No, that one was on ESPN. That one's real. I saw that one. Right. I didn't verify your second one, but it was Baker Mayfield. I saw that long before we talked. Yeah, that's good. You're clear.
Oh, dude, I like that, man. I get the free pass. But yo, there's some of those articles, even like, I don't know, I think The Onion was probably the most popular one for like basic, I don't know, political news or current event news. I don't even know if they're still around, but they used to make those articles. They used to look so convincing, and it'd be something radical. And you're like, wait, really? This is happening? Like, Colbs, that's actually how I felt about the whole daylight savings time bill. I'm like, no, that's fake. They're not doing that.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I was like, oh, thanks for announcing this like 3 days after I had to spring forward right into the damn morning.
I hope that they keep it that way, though. I want the sunlight to stay.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At this point, I mean, I've lived with daylight savings my whole life. I'd prefer it to stick around, even though it has literally fucked me every year because they always, for some reason, any company I've worked for, they say, okay, Colby, you're going to open when we spring forward. So I'm like, oh, sweet, thanks. And then half the time when we fall back, I'm working overnights already from my time at Toys R Us. So I would have to just stay an extra hour. Like the last time that I did one of those, when I was in the Northborough Toys R Us, I literally, because I let all my people go, I'm like, I'm not going to make them stay. And there was nothing for me to do. And it's also, I was salary. So it's not like I was getting paid any extra. So I took a chair like what I have right now, a rolling chair, and I just stuck it by the door and sat like this for an hour waiting for the opening manager to show up. And when he came in, he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, going home now.
That's awesome.
But a point of it being is I'm used to daylight savings. I don't really actually want it to leave because we've lived our whole lives this way. What am I going to do? Am I just going to live every day where there's no time change? I'm a master at this shit. They've done it to me since I was like 20 years old. I'll be fine.
I need it, bro. I need it. I need the sunlight. I'm sick of it getting dark at 4 p.m. I want it dark at 5 p.m.
That is a good point. I mean, there is nothing weirder than when it's like December, right about Christmas, and we walk outside and it's, like 3:30 and the sun's almost gone.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So we don't need it. We need to get rid of it, man. We need the sun staying out. It's good for business. It's good for everybody. Just hopefully that passes through, man. That's where I'm at. Daylight savings time bill, please pass it. Please make that happen. I'm pumped. We need that for our show, Colbs, for our audience. They're calling for it.
I don't think it means anything to our show, but all right, we'll go with that.
Yeah, true.
John, March Madness has started up, sir. This is a fun time of year where I get to do the most illogical betting that I ever do because I make a bracket like everybody else, and I'm in a bracket thing right now with like 6 of my friends. And I should have reached out to you on this, by the way, John. I don't know why I didn't. It just never really popped into my head. But out of the 7 of us, one of us, our friend Jig, did not even fill out a bracket, so he's permanently at 0. And out of the rest of us, I'm currently, well, I should say I was as of an hour ago. I feel like I lost first place, but I was tied for first. I think now I'm second. But John, I already had a nail biter right in the first round
Who?
because Gonzaga, who I have winning the whole thing, they were only up 52-50 at the half. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like this cannot go this way for me. And they ended up winning like 93-70. So it worked out. But I'm sitting there because the one time that there's ever been a 1 seed upset by a 16 seed, yeah, that was when I had Virginia, the 1 seed, winning the whole damn thing. And they got beat by, I think it was like the Baltimore, Maryland County, like I think it was UBMC or something like that. And I got wrecked by UMBC. I think it was University of Maryland, Baltimore County. They beat Virginia in the first round. And that's it, like literally 1 seeds are like 143-1 going into this year or something like that. And the 1 was the one where I had them winning it all. So I was sitting there shitting myself. I'll be honest with you, John. I'm watching Gonzaga and I'm like, you guys cannot falter right now because I have you guys winning the whole thing. And I
So,
can't be already out.
Coles, you might be crapping yourself here again because St. Peter's is currently on top of Kentucky right now, 69-68 with 55 seconds left.
I don't know that I have Kentucky going all that far. I think I have them going to the Final Four, but I think so does everybody else.
Yeah, they well, oh no, never mind. Kentucky's back on top, so we'll see how that game ends up
Yeah,
going
we'll
through and
we'll see.
playing
I'm
out.
not gonna bog down on it on my phone, but I'm pretty sure that because I know that I have Gonzaga winning it all, and I know I had 2 1 seeds and 2 2 seeds in the Final Four. I know I had Miami, who plays tomorrow, making it to the I believe Sweet 16 or Elite 8, who's a 10 seed. But oh, by the way, did you see how UConn finished out? Because when I came down here, they were down by like 10.
They lost. Yeah, they
They did.
lost. They did.
Uh,
They lost. And
Luckily, I know that most of the guys in this are enough of UConn basketball fans that they would have bet UConn also. So I had UConn making it this way. Now, this is where I felt bad, John, or kind of like an ass. There's 12 seeds that upset 5 seeds every year in March Madness. And I
Richmond.
picked, yep, and now it's happened twice. And I picked all 5 seeds. Yeah, for some reason this year I'm picking through and I'm like, I just don't see it this year. I think we're actually not going to have one of these. And there's been 2. So we'll see what happens. I'm mostly reliant on a couple of the lower seeds that I have picked to go somewhere. I got Michigan State going pretty far, which, by the way, I do every year. I don't watch college basketball at all. So me doing this is totally blind and random. I don't actually know who's good other than Gonzaga. That's why I picked them to win. I know Gonzaga is good. And they still got like their whole roster that's there right now. They were all there last year. I watched them last year too. It's the same guys. So I'm not concerned about them. Everybody else, I'm like, I don't know. I just kind of went through and picked, and then I was texting our buddy Nate, John, and he says to me, if it takes you more than 4 minutes to go through your bracket, then you took too much time. You overthought it. I'm like, you know what? I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that is the way to do the bracket because nobody watches college basketball that way except for some of the experts. And that's a shitty thing to be an expert in. I'm sorry.
Well, even then, too, that must be the most time-consuming thing in the world because when it comes down to that, you're getting some of these bottom-level teams that no one really knows about, maybe just one player, maybe 2, and
Dude,
that's
I
about
listened
it.
to a whole hour-long podcast trying to tell me about might be like upsetting teams in the first round, and it was from Tom Haberstroh, and I love Tom Haberstroh. He's one of my favorite people in this world. I really do actually like him a lot. This isn't me being funny. And Tom Haberstroh and the crew that he had together there, and by when I say crew, he had one guy, and I can't remember his name, but they talked about a bunch of teams, none of which actually made the tournament because this happened like a month ago that they did this show, or at least the first episode of it. And I should have
Yeah.
listened further on, but all the teams that they had mentioned, none of them made it to the tournament. So I'm like, damn it. I don't even have a sneak peek here. Like, I got nothing. I'm just going in here blind. So I'm like, okay, well, I know Gonzaga's going forward and everybody else. I'm going to go with what I feel. You know what? We're going somewhere.
That's what I was doing. I was listening to all the radio broadcasts and everything, especially during the fantasy football thing, Colbs. I was trying to get some, like, inside information. I couldn't imagine doing that for the NCAA. That just seems way too time consuming. Way too many
I
teams.
could
I agree
with
with Nate.
football, but not with basketball.
I could do with football too. I mean, not with basketball. It just too many teams, too many things going on. There's too many oddball factors that can end up popping up. At least football, you got an idea of kind of who's going to pull it off, but I guess you can't really say that either because I don't think last year went the way that a lot of people thought it would in the NFL.
No, and I don't disagree. Actually, I mean, there were a lot of people that were on the Rams last year, but I was not one of them. I thought they were going to be last in the division. I didn't even think they'd be a playoff team.
Fair enough, dude. I know talking about odds and everything along those lines, they did end up getting released, which has me kind of pumped for the USFL, Colbs. I just have to say it every episode. It's getting closer and closer. I'm getting so freaking
I can't
excited.
believe I watch this fucking league for you.
I'm just saying a $10 bet on a team right now can win you some pretty darn good money. For whatever reason, the New Orleans Breakers are supposed to be the worst team. You put $10 down, you win 80. Just saying. So
Yeah, I'm not betting before I watch any of these teams, but God damn it, I hate that I'm even going to watch these teams.
they're going to be on national television, Colbs, if that changes your
I'm
mind.
doing it for you, is the thing. Like, I'm literally doing this for you.
Colbs, Jeff Fisher is a coach. Does that change your
He
mind?
was great in the NFL 20 years ago.
So he'll be great in the USFL now.
Yeah. John, my devices. So you ever put together a music playlist, but it always wants to play the same song?
100%. It's on like
Yeah,
repeat.
actually,
It
yeah.
never-
You as a DJ, I'm sure that happens all the time. So I decided I realized that I had no country in my playlist, and I was like, oh, you know what? I should at least make sure I get some of my country people in here because I do
Yeah.
like some country music. I'm not huge on it, but it's something that I enjoy. So I went through and I put on some Brantley Gilbert and some Brad Paisley and some Jason Aldean. And one of my favorite Brad Paisley songs is Whiskey Lullaby.
Mhm.
And it's a good song, but it's depressing as hell.
It is.
And my devices, every time that I start
Oh,
the
no.
liked music playlist,
Oh no.
it just goes straight to Whiskey Lullaby in a way where, yeah, Michelle and Emily are coming in now. So the guest is here and everybody's excited, evidently. Michelle knocked over a picture. Hey, Em, how's it going?
Be our
And-
guest, be our guest, be our guest.
Yes,
It's kind of like the
Be Our
Beauty and
Guest should be part of my playlist now. With that said, Whiskey Lullaby, it's a great song, but it's depressing as hell, and that's all my computer and my phone want me to listen to. It just keeps playing on repeat. I'm like, no, I'm trying to go to the next song, and it's just like, next song, Whiskey Lullaby. I'm like, no, stop it. I don't want to kill myself.
True, dude. There's some deep, sad songs out there for all genres, but country, if you're not careful and you're going for more of a hype, high energy, kind of a good day kind
That's
of
why
vibe.
we got Brantley and Jason on there. We had to get some things that weren't going to be depressing and like, hey, I'm going to drink myself till I die.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you put that mix in there because if you didn't, that would have been a whole nother kind of situation, Colbs. Because I mean, you got to throw some Hootie and the Blowfish or something. Some of the upbeat stuff, like be careful.
Oh shit, that's actually a good call. I should probably put a Wagon Wheel on there from Darius.
See, you can't go, dude. In my opinion, Darius Rucker, he doesn't make sad music. Even if it's supposed to be a sad song, his voice is just too good. It's not sad.
It is. It sounds nice. There's just something about him. Like as soon as he opens his mouth, I'm like, oh man, that sounds good. Even when he's
like
just talking.
Even like Let Her Cry, like even the way he starts it, like she sits alone by a lamppost. I'm like, yeah, come on, yeah. Like,
I sit alone by a lamppost too.
Yeah, like it's not like the other kind of country music, and I don't know, man. Shout out to Darius Rucker, much love from Jacked and Can to you. Uh, but Coles, dude, I know we're pretty much rounded up here, and your guest has just arrived. Do we have any final topics that we want to talk about?
Yeah, there's one more thing, John. You ever play with a controller when you're playing video games that it's just a messed up controller and it cannot stop moving in one direction?
That is by far, the most frustrating thing on this planet. So, Colbs, real quick, let me explain to you something.
Go
So you
ahead.
know how I don't really play video games that often, right? And
Yeah.
occasionally I'll go on there, I'll play Madden. I still, Colbs, have the Halo Master Chief collection from when it came out. I still have Grand Theft Auto 5 sitting in the package from when that came out. I have a whole bunch of games right over there that I've never played. But I'm like this. I go, I'll play it one day. Dude, I have this like weird thing in my head that's like, yeah, one day when I'm like 60, I might play this, or one day when I'm like 50, I might play that game. I don't know why, but that's how it's working. So one day, I'm just gonna leave it there. It's been years, but one day, I go over to GameStop. I go buy a pre-owned controller because I'm like, I want a second controller in case I want to play a game with somebody. Who? I don't know, but I want it. So I buy this pre-owned controller. I bring it back. The thing is busted as hell. The thing is running all over the place on its own. The controller's spinning. The camera's spinning. I'm like, what the frig is this? So I bring it back. I exchange it out. I get another one. Pre-owned controller. I bring it home. Guess what? The controller randomly turns off, even with fresh batteries. I go, what the hell gives with that? So I gave up. I have this busted ass controller over here, and it's just for looks that I just never returned because I'm like, GameStops are not that common anymore. There's not too many floating around. So it's kind of a pain to get there. So, Colbs, the pain of a controller is very real to me. I am very horrible with a regular controller. I couldn't beat the Splinter Cell game. You know this. Everybody knows this. So that's where I'm at.
So Michelle had gotten me these like knockoff kind of controllers not too long ago. Worked awesome for a little while. And now all of a sudden, one of the controllers, the right stick, just stays up all the time. And then on the other one, the left stick stays up all the time. So I decided I was going to play Hitman, which is a stealth game where you cannot move quickly.
No.
I had to sprint through Hitman where just at the end of every level, it was just giving me mass murder as what my cause was because I literally couldn't stop sprinting. So, so I'm just sprinting through the entirety of every level of Hitman, the original Hitman too. This thing came out in like 2001. For some reason, I still play this game. And I am just destroying everybody while sprinting because that's all I can do. It's just about the sprint. So I'm going to have to get some new stuff. But I thought, honestly, John, I wasn't sure if you were going to have anything on that type of controller. But well played, sir. So apparently don't buy a secondhand controller or Voy, which is the product that I currently have on my Xbox 360.
Buy the real deal. Spend the money. Take it from me. Take it from Colbs.
Well, especially now for an Xbox 360, the controllers are probably like $10. If that.
Good point. I'm talking about the Xbox One controller in my case. So I was like $27 compared to 60. Hell yeah, $27 or $34, whatever it was. But ladies and gents, don't hack away on your controllers and don't do a hack job on your sports news because we don't give you the good news. Look at Colbs is breaking bad news. I'm breaking bad news. Colbs, this has been another episode of what?
It's been an episode of fuck me.